is part 3. Maybe this issue needs to have more than one video up there. So this is part 3 right here. Meant to actually turn on the flash right here. But instead of turning on the flash, I had actually turned I turned off the recording. So Slicha, Yikratane, forgive I, pray to I. But this is what I found on my shelf. Right? I found on the shelf right here, for the first time in American history, a book teaching how not to eat pork. And I haven't really seen if this book is still, it should still be available, especially nowadays in this so-called, internet times of the internet or the internets, right? But this is, how not to eat pork. It's a small book. It's, as we say, it's lickle, as you can see right here, but it's talawa, right? It's small, but it's big in that sense. It's important to say. Or Life Without the Pig. It's updated with new facts, and this we got a couple of years ago, and it was, here we go right here. Let's do this. Okay. You can see it's by Shaharazad, illustrated by Shaharazad Ali. And it says, identifies over 100 foods, cosmetics, and medications and accessories made from the pig. I think she also touched on the whole thing about the condoms as well, right? 'Cause that's another byproduct from the pig, right? Ends the controversy once and for all. And at this time it was $10. Might be a little bit more. Maybe there's a PDF out there. Maybe we can get a PDF, or Ones and Ones know of a PDF. You can link it to Rastafari Foundation. But this is very, very important health-wise, right? And to get into some of the information in here, she really goes into a lot of important subject matter, breaking down names, breaking down the trichina, the trichinosis, this worm, right, lodged inside the muscles of a pork eater. On biopsy, they resemble a tiny white grain of sand scattered throughout, right? And different names for things. It's a very good study, right? You know, what pigs have. And of course, this is against the pork industry because the love of money is the root of all kind of evil. Right. And also pointing out one interesting thing about some of the Nation of Islam and related, related information, right, is that they do acknowledge that the kosher, right, the kashrut, the kosher labeling does at a certain level, of coming out from Babylon, coming out of the confusion as a stepping stone. It is a good stepping stone for ones who want foods that are more healthy without the addition of pork and all the pork byproducts, right, that are produced by a lot of the so-called religious Jews, or the Jews who try to be more faithful, to what the word says, not like the Luciferian Jews out there, Anyway, you look up Luciferian Jews, a very good site out there, by Henry, I think, Macau. Breaks down some important facts, right? And he's a so-called Jew, but he recognizes what Revelation says. Jews who call themselves Jews are not synagogue of Satan, right? Because many of them, the atheistic Jews, they actually are part of, so it's almost like on both sides, so to speak. But anyway, let's get into these foods right here, right? These are categories of foods which contain pork, right, at some basic level. So this book teaches you what to look for. And this is not for ones to so-called, freak out about it, right? To go crazy. Oh my God, don't become pharisaical. Right? Don't become pharisaical about it. Just get educated, learn, and take it step by step, one day at a time, in our Black Lord and Savior, Yeshua HaMashiach, right? Medications, right? Made from pork, right? Medications made from pork as well, right? So some of this you can, pause the vid, right? Just want to put it like on the screen so you can pause it later on and read over it, right? At least get a kind of an overview. Right, okay. Accessories, right? That's made from the pig or pig byproducts, as you can see right there. Well, look at that, even the cork. Word, even the cork in the wine bottles. That's why we like the Manischewitz. Okay, some articles in here, and there's, okay, let me show you this one right here, this worm, right? This is the worm, the morphology of the Trichinella spiralis, or spiralis, adult or intestinal forms, right? And you can see this right here, right? Okay, breaking down the anatomy of this worm. The parts of it. Okay. And what else? But some peoples, according to their heathenistic cultures, right, pagan cultures, at least non-Hebrew, right, and Israelitish cultures, they love this particular animal as a food, as a friend, as a pet, all these movies and Miss Piggy and all that kind of stuff, and porking and porky and pork, like, so you're having sex, you call it porking. So what are you producing? Okay. So this is the book. You might be able to find it. No doubt it's still out there. How Not to Eat, right, pork. Life Without the Pig. Right? Life Without the Pig. So we want to bring this to your attention as well. There we go. All right. Shaharazad Ali. Right, identifying over 100 foods, cosmetic, medications, and accessories made from the pig. Right, as you can see right here, bringing us forward to where we started out on the whole porkless, right, on the whole porkless, porking, so to speak, or the vegan. It's crazy, man. Just to think about it for a moment. People, they say these things and say, oh, it's just a figure of speech. Well, they back it up with a ritualistic activity. Don't you know this is a ritual that you're involved in? You might not have known, but now you know, right? And how that connects with, human trafficking, slavery. They say sex slave. This is slavery. Because in slavery, of the lost sheep of the black people in Americas and the Caribbean, it was all about sex there too. Even though they said that, the black man and the woman are like animals. Yeah, and that's something they said we was on a level of animals, but they were having sex with our ancestors who they called no better than animals, cattle, chattel, slavery. But then we get to learn that they like to have sex with animals because they like to do what? They like to pork. Right? They even like their condoms to be made out of pork, right? So here's the website right here. Porkless, porking, vegan condoms. They say, originally, most condoms sound like condemns. Most condemns, right? Because you basically condemn the sperm, right? But most condemns were made from cacum or sesame. I don't know how it's spelled. Cacum, C-E-C-U-N, or like the old Latin cacum, or the modern Anglo-Latin sesame or secum, or whatever they want to call it, which is the inner lining of an animal's intestine, like a sheep or a cow. And you still want to believe this is not ritualistic, right? That's why you can't see the connections. Once you start to recognize what's before you, then what is hidden from you, or the so-called hidden aspects, begin to trace the dots, recognize what's before you, right? So these condoms were made from the animal intestine like of the sheep and the cow. Lambskin condoms still are, but even latex condoms use casein, which is a protein found in milk. They say that milk does the body good. Milk does the body good. Anyway, you can see how this would present a conundrum for our vegan-minded safe sex practitioners. Are you a vegan-minded safe sex practitioner that likes to pork, and you didn't know that the condom that you used to pork around was made of pork? Why should that surprise you? As what's his name, the first black president, not this one, the other one. Why should that surprise you? Read my lips. I did not have sex with that woman. The trouble is not only finding products that don't contain animal products, right? But also don't use animal testing or animal products during their manufacturing. No, the problem is people don't do shit for themselves no more, or in any community of ones that they know what's going on. You know, they're into this consumer. They're being consumed by consumerism, right? They're being made into useless eaters, into useless eaters and useless porkers, right? That's one of the main problems with contraception. Contraception, right? Contraception. Sounds like COINTELPRO on another level. For vegans, many forms of hormonal birth control have a history of testing on animals. But then that's why they're trying to teach you in the false religion that they call Darwinianism or pseudo-evolution. They're trying to teach you that man is basically an animal. So after a while, you'd be like, you shrug your shoulders. I mean, after all, we're just animals, right? Luckily, they say, there are plenty of brands out there for socially conscious to choose from. So, they want to show you this right here. And we're not advertising this. We're just, pointing these things out to y'all, right? And, and lubing and all this kind of, you see, these are the crazy people, these are the false, goddesses that a lot of our women look up to, a lot of these cuckoos from amongst the Gentiles, right? But anyway, be that as it may, I think this is very interesting, right? But this is just a kind of a more modern proof of what our sister Shaharazad Ali has already previously presented, right? In this book right here, right? How not to eat pork, right? Breaking down within this document right here, right? Breaking down within this document right here, identifying over 100 foods, cosmetics, and medications, right, made from the pig, right? And this was written, let me see if I can find a copyright so you can see how early this is. Look at that, copyrighted 1985. You see? But the lost sheeple don't believe their own people, right? Actually, it says Ali Shaharazad 1947. I don't know what that's about right there, but still, we don't like to accept, the testimony of our own people, because that's also, maybe it's the worm, maybe it's that worm, that germ, that worm. Anyway, come out of Babylon, come out of this confusion, my people, before it's too late. Words of the wise should be sufficient, and I hope and pray the I are the wise. Some food for thought. This is Wyndham Yarden of the line of the Tribe of Judah Society, and you can check us out at RastafariGroundation.com. Shalom.